Welcome back. It's Lex here. Okay, so we are doing the end of the year tag. My hair, I just got it done yesterday. Alright, so we are doing the end of the year tag, and the first thing that it asks is I'm gonna have to look over here at my iPad because I don't know all the prompts off the top of my head. So, best recommendation you got this year? Well, I don't have any bookish friends, or I don't have friends who read books, so I don't have anything for this specific prompt. Okay, so most disappointing book of the year. It is Our Little Secret by QB Tyler. Okay, so this was if I remember correctly, it was a girl. They were hooking up while he was still married, and it took him forever to divorce the lady he was with to be with the main female character. And I don't like the cheating trope, so this one was a no-go for me. Okay, so what was an underdog book? So underdog book was the Taking Care series by Gianni Holmes. Okay, so this is a 3-book series, and it does Declan. I think it's Declan and God, what's his name? Declan and Owen, I think, is the book. Owen is the older man, and Declan is the younger man, and Declan is the daddy in the relationship. And it goes through how Declan pursued him and everything else, and it's their love story through 3 books. So that book, and then the spin-off version of it. You're being recorded. Okay, so, and then the spin-off book of that series is really good. Okay, what is some overhyped books you read? Okay, so I have a book for this one, and it's Rewind It Back by Liz Tomforty. This book is Hallie and Rio's book. They were childhood best friends. They were in love together for so many years. They split up, haven't seen each other in like 8 years or something. And then they get back together, and it's their book, and I really like this book. Okay, other books I did read that were overhyped was Love Arranged, and the Love Arranged by Lauren Asher, and then that was the last book in the Lakefront Billionaire series, and it was an okay book. Okay, yeah, not much to say about it. If you read it, you know it was the main male character. He was a playboy type of guy, and I think it was Marriage and Convenience is what the book is about. But that book, and then The Nanny by Alana Ferguson. I swore I had the book, can't find it. I think I got rid of it in one of my unhaul videos this past year, and I read that book and did not like it. Next one, a book that surprised you, is Ice Planet Barbarians. So the Ice Planet Barbarians series, I read, I think, 8 books out of the series, and I don't plan on going any further, I don't think. But the first book did take me by surprise, and I actually liked the books in that series, and up to a point, and then it's kind of going in a different direction, and I'm not liking it. I might give the next one a go and then go from there, but no. Okay, favorite book couples. So favorite book couples is Lexi and Roman from If You Love Me by Helena Hunting. This book is so good. They met previously. They had a one-night stand. Then come to find out that Lexi became his hockey coach, and then they were trying to stay away from each other, and then they couldn't take the tension, and then it pulled them together, and it's their love story, and so good. Okay, and the next one is Bloom and Logan from Bloom Part 1 and Part 2 by Gianni Holmes. That book is so good. I like him. It's a motorcycle romance, and you just gotta read it. Okay, just gotta read it. Okay, your favorite main characters of the year. So Axel is one, because I did a reread. Axel from Latte Darling from S.J. Tilly. He is older. He runs a body shop. She runs, I believe, a coffee shop. And yeah, so this is from Latte Darling. The other one is Luther. I do not have the book for this. Luther is from Mountain. Oh no, Mountain. I gotta look it up because I am drawing a blank, and it's another S.J. Tilly book. I'm gonna be mad. Mountain Daddy. Oh my god. Mountain Daddy. Luther is so good. He has a one-night stand with Kendra. She's coming to live with her dad after a situation with work, and she ends up going to Colorado, meeting up with Luther for a one-night stand. She was like, it's just a one-night stand. I'm just passing through. Come to find out, the next morning she meets him because she's having breakfast with her. He's having breakfast with her dad. So Luther, so good. Don't like the third act breakup, but that's okay. Okay, next book, and my favorite main characters of the year is from Love Utley. This is Hannah and Maddox's book, but Hannah, she fell for a football player in college, which is in the novella before this, and she's trying to make a name for herself, and that is the next one. So those are the next ones. Okay, so new authors you discovered this year. So new authors I discovered this year is Gianni Holmes. So she writes romances, and cannot wait for some of the romances that are coming up in her MC motorcycle series. So all right, and then the next one is Elsie Silver. So I started with Wild Love from Elsie Silver. Did not read her Chesapeake Shores, Chesapeake, whatever her Chesapeake, her other cowboy series is, but this is the one I started with. Loved 3 out of the 4 books. Okay, really loved 3 out of the 4 books, but this one I believe was a 4.5 stars. So, yeah, so I got this one from Elsie Silver. Okay, authors that did not work out for you this year. Okay, Marin Moore. Okay, I have a book. I believe it's on my 26 books in 2026 that I want to read from her, but she didn't work out. I was trying to read some sports series from her, and it was a virgin heroine. I don't remember what the book is called, but it drove me up the wall. Okay, Nikki Salone, I try to read The Good Girl, part of her Nashville Neighbor series, because I like The Pool Boy, and that was a no-go. And then Amy Dawes, I read The Blindsided. It's like a soccer romance, virgin heroine, which drove me up the wall. And then the narrator for the audiobook didn't help. Okay, so yeah. Then we are coming down to what is the happiest book you read this year. Okay, this book made me the happiest. What is the happiest book you read? I think it's this one. Did make me cry, but I don't. This one made me. What is the happiest book you read this year? This made me laugh, giggle, want to punch people, but still, this made me really happy. If You Claim Me by Lena Hunting. Okay, so if you know, you know. Okay. I'm just going to set this down here because I can look up and down. Okay, what was the saddest book you read this year? You know, it's Dear Rosie by S.J. Tilly. Okay, so I read this book. I also read it when it was my year, was when my dog that passed away last August, not this past August, but the following August in 2024. It was her birthday in February. I don't know if that helped, but I read this during that time, and this made me cry so bad. So it's Rosie, Nate's book. They used to live next to each other in a neighborhood. That's what I'm trying to say. Holy cow. And they find each other afterwards, and she's a baker, was baking for, I don't remember who she was baking for in the beginning of the book, but then Nate walks in, and then they do stuff in the pantry. So, yeah. All right. The most frustrating book you read this year. Okay, so one of them is a series. It is the Executive Order by Tal Bauer. Okay, the first book in the series was so good. Okay, I really liked that book. Not loved, but really liked that book. Then you have the next two books. You go from between the president and his bodyguard to having multiple POVs from different people, and then it kind of gets out there in the story. So the story kind of evolves in a way that I didn't like. And then the last book, I read this in June because I read it in June because I was like, oh, I really want to read this. Yeah, so read it. The third book, it was out there. It was so out there. To be honest, I was skimming through it and was not really reading it. So yeah, because it was so out there. Okay, and then the other book was the Proposal Play by Lauren Blakely. So this is the last book I read in this hockey series from her because the book was too long. The audiobook was so long. What did I actually write on Goodreads? I normally don't look up what I wrote on Goodreads, but it pretty much sums it up on my Goodreads, unfortunately. And I normally don't write reviews on Goodreads. Okay, so I said that the book was long and it dragged out, that I stopped the audiobook, listening to the audiobook, and started skimming through the pages. And I said I don't know if I will continue reading the series. It is the Love and Hockey series. So, yeah. Okay, so that was another frustrating book. Okay. Next thing is, it says the best book adaptations of the year. Okay, I don't have any, but if I really want to say something, I reread Harry Potter, and then I was watching Harry Potter. So, best book adaptations would be Harry Potter. But let's just say the movies aren't as good as the books. Just saying. Okay? Just saying. Then, next thing is books you haven't stopped thinking about. Okay, so books I have not stopped thinking about are this series here. We all should know this by now. Is the Love Letters series by S.J. Tilley. So you have Tackled in the Stacks, you have Love Utley, and you have Dear Rosie. Okay, these are stuff that I have not stopped thinking about over the past year that I want to reread and annotate. That is one. Okay, next is Smoky Darling and Latte Darling. So I did reread this book this year after I read this one. And oh my gosh. Okay, besides these books being absolutely gorgeous, and I just got them recently, and I wanted them for this video in particular, but these are books I have not stopped thinking about. And yeah, and then the last one is a book that I was supposed to make a video about but never did, and it will be in my reading journal though. Yeah, is She Was Made for Me by Jen Morris. So this, I've also been thinking about how they were working together, the stuff that they did, stuff he did for her, that type of thing. And and I really like his tattoo, and it talks about it in the book. So, yeah. Dad's best friend, by the way. Dad's best friend, romance. Yeah. Okay. Your favorite cover of the year, besides my books that I got pre-ordered from S.J. Tilly, it is Pause on the Playbook. This book cover is super cute. I don't have a copy of it yet, but you'll see it up here. But this is an arc I read this year, and I really like the book. Go back and look at November's reading vlog, because I do talk about it in there, and then I will be talking about it in my December reading vlog as well. Okay, next one that we need to talk about is Unpopular Book You Loved. Okay, I really liked and I really loved Our Ride to Forever by Julia Olivia. So if I gotta pull it up because I was going through all of this and I don't remember everything about all the books I read this year. But this is Theo and Orson's book. So it was like a marriage of convenience to get him to have insurance. And she works in the theme park. And the way their love blossomed over this book was so good. Just saying. He is Orson, and how he treats her and how everything works in this book as a fake husband, and in how he lets her stay in his bedroom, in his spare bedroom, and they start living together, and then that's how they fall in love. I don't know if I want to say all over again. I don't think they were in love when they first got married, but and then shenanigans happens, so you know. But that is one of the books, Unpopular Books You love, that I loved. So that book, I cannot wait to read the last book because the audiobook just came out, so I'm super excited about that. Okay, popular book that you did not love. Okay, so this is a popular book, and I read Madam by Sarah Kate, and that's male, female, female, and this one is the Charlie Method, and it was male, male, female. I thought I was going to like it. Thank goodness I didn't buy the audiobook. I borrowed it kind of on Everland, so I used a credit and got it from there, so I didn't waste money doing it. But this book, nothing like the other ones, to be honest. And I stopped reading the audiobook and started skimming pretty much the rest. I didn't like how everything turned at a certain point and then where the story went from there. And the relationship was blah, to be honest. Yeah, just no. Before I just start getting rage baited by myself. Okay, book you thought you would love but didn't. Okay, so it's Keep Me by Sarah Kate. I was really looking forward to this book because it was a Scottish and a girl from America. She was supposed to be in a relationship with him to help him. I don't know if it was his reputation. I don't remember exactly. But how the book was set up, it was done in parts. So in a certain part, it was only the female's point of view, and then another part was the male point of view, but it wasn't back and forth. Like, after so many chapters, it would be a couple of the male point of views. So I think that's what turned me off the most, that I did not love about this book, is I never got to see, after a situation happening from the female's point of view, I never got to see the male's point of view after that. That's what made me mad. Book that had the most unique concept you read this year. This book specifically. So, dark romance. Okay, I do read dark romances, but not to the extent of how this like turned out. So, this is Allie and Josh. So, Josh is on a TikTok. He wears masks, does all these things like on the TikTok. Allie likes that type of stuff. She's a nurse, a trauma nurse, and likes his videos. I don't know how he figured out how he figured out to target her and like in general, but the way he targeted her and how he would do certain things. He was stalking her, put video like put I think I still have my, I did finish the book. I still have my bookmark in it. The way he did stuff for this lady is crazy. And yeah. This was just the unique, like a unique plot, unique book to read. And the things that they do in this book is definitely unique. Just saying. Okay. Books you like to reread that you read this year that you would like to reread. This one, these two books, for sure. So, Wild Card and Wild Side, books from L.C. Silver that I would like to reread. There is also hang on, I can pull them because they're right here. These two books I would like to reread as well. So, If You Love Me, If You Claim Me by Helena Hunting, and then Rewind It Back. And I think, what's it called, came out this year? Play Along as well, but I would like to read the Play Along as well. So I have a bunch of rereads I would like to read technically. And, yeah. A priority read for next year. I have to get to this. It is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. I need to get to this book. So it's one of my prioritized reads for next year. Okay. Talks about Goodreads 25 reading goal reflection. I think I only got to 125 books, and I was supposed to get to 150 books. I was in a slump a couple times this year, so when slumps happen, they happen for me, and all I want to do is play either video games or watch YouTube, gaming YouTube videos and streams. So, yeah. Reading goal. My reading goal for 2026 on Goodreads is going to still be 150 books, and that's what I put in my reading journal, as well as I did put that as my reading goal for this year. Books you wish you got to this year is My Darling Mayhem by Ashley Munoz. So that's like a spin-off series to her motorcycle series, and The Light of the Jedi. I don't remember who it's by, but you'll see it here. But I wanted to get to that book, never got to it. Because after Ahsoka, I was kind of turned off, and then my best friend, he's like, "You've got to read this book." I was like, okay. What will you prioritize in 2026 reading year? Books that I want to read instead of books that I need to read. I don't know if that makes sense. So I want to read the books that I want to read instead of the books I need to read. So, like my TBR, for example, I normally feel like I need to read those instead of that I want to read them. Probably read my physical TBR. It's not big because it's going to go down more this year, due to the fact I got to do an on-haul video, because I got way too many books and I need to make room on my shelves. So some of the books that I will be unhauling will be that have been on my physical TBR that I bought that I thought I was going to like. I sort of like the first book, and I don't think I'm gonna read the rest of the series, if that makes sense. I'll go over it in my unhaul video, but yeah. Goals for 2026. Okay, so goals for reading. Okay, my goals for reading is read 150 books, read more fan fiction. That was my goal last year. Did I get to it? No. Those are my like main goals for reading. Let's talk about goals for book content. Or no, let me go back. Goals for reading is to use Libby, Everland, and Spotify more, so I don't have to buy all my audiobooks. because I'm an audiobook girly and that's how I read most of the time. Okay, goals for book content. So I need to stay active on Instagram. I don't post all the time. Work gets in the way because I'm a teacher. So work gets in the way. Life gets in the way. You know, trying to stay active on there. And then stay consistent on YouTube. There was times on YouTube that I did not post in a couple weeks. I'm trying to stay consistent. So maybe it maybe be like a 2-3 minute video on updating you guys on what I'm doing, how I'm feeling, because I got sick a lot this year. It doesn't help with the medications I take as well, because medications I take, my immune system is super low because of those. So maybe just doing small update videos on YouTube, or shorts or whatever, to bring in more views or whatever, staying consistent on YouTube. That is the end of my, whatever this is called, this end of book year tag. End of year book tag is what I'm going to say. End of year, because where I got the prompts, it doesn't make sense. So end of year book tag. Just preferencing, don't forget to go watch this. This will show you my reading journal, how I set it up, everything, all my spreads. I have not done my January spread yet, so that is to come, to be honest, because it's going to get done. So yeah, don't forget to go look at my reading journal for 2026. And I can already tell you, I don't like this cover, because it tracks my dog's dog hair, and it's stuck. So what I would like to say is thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you still coming back. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, guys.